Marty Schwartz in the house. Brother, how are you doing, man?
Dude, how did I end up here?
Man, this is the magic of television.
I went to start making my own video and there was a little electrical outage and all of a sudden I'm sitting here with you.
And you're here, man.
Man, teleportation.
I love it.
We've invented it.
I love it, man.
Dude,
Marty,
thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
I beat you to the thank yous.
Yeah, well, and we just cut a video for your channel, right? We're gonna do one.
That was awesome.
For my kids now, and I'm pretty sure that I know what they want.
Okay, tell me.
They want Marty's top 5 guitar hacks.
Okay.
Right? So what I mean by this, friends, is those little bits and pieces that once you're told, life's never the same again, and it brings something that you can walk away with. That's the sort of thing we're talking about.
Awesome.
Yeah?
I'm up for the challenge.
Nice.
I haven't even thought of them yet, but I think I have enough to go right through.
Yeah, and this could be, it could be lead stuff, could be chordal stuff, could be theory.
Sure.
Really whatever it takes. I mean, if I think back to, I probably have 10 things that I constantly go to that shape the way that I look at the instrument. So, and I'm sure that you've taught them.
I've got some.
Taught them all.
I've got some. Let me start with a really good beginner hack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's learning chords. First thing I ever, started learning on guitar was like E minor and A and D and all that stuff.
Right.
But this can go all the way to advanced chords. This is something I had a guitar teacher teach me, so I'm not the author of this hack, but it's one of my great teachers I had. So if I took a D chord, for instance, like the quickest way to learn a chord, take the chord, form it, and then I joke, but I say put a little freeze spray on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that.
Sure.
That's my
I like
sound
the
effects.
sound.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little freeze spray. So your fingers are stuck like that, right?
Yep.
But the real gist of it is if you keep the shape and then put it back down, it's not going to be perfect when you take it off. You put it back down and just, fix whatever you need to fix. Mm-hmm. And put the chord back down. Keep the shape, take your hand off, and put it back down. And that's seems to work, because I taught a lot of lessons before YouTube, and it's a great muscle memory trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets your hand to remember it quicker.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's my first one for the beginners out there. Beautiful. Another thing that blew my mind that's related to the D chord, and this is something that it was a real light bulb aha moment for me, was just taking like a D chord and realizing that if I just played the notes that my fingers are on and I moved it up, it becomes the next letter up chord.
Yeah.
So if I took a D chord and I moved it up here, it's now an E chord. Right. So if you play, if I play this, it's the same chord.
It works beautifully, yeah.
So I remember, because for a while I was just kind of like, strumming a few chords, and I didn't know that. I was like, oh crap. So like E to F is a half step.
Yeah.
So that's an F major chord.
Yeah.
And then up a whole step, it's a G.
Yeah.
And then it's an A. And then it's a B. And then a half step to C. And so without learning a new shape, you're actually playing a bunch of new chords.
Yeah.
And it also, it's like the start of your brain going, oh, if that's the case, then maybe the same thing works for, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like,
it's a big aha moment.
Yeah, it's an easy entry, know, because if you know a D chord, if you're a beginner and you know a D chord, then that's a good entry into at least this concept that, the same chords are up and down the whole neck everywhere. Yeah. There's E's everywhere, D's everywhere, G's everywhere. One little aha that goes to it, if D up a whole step is E major, that means if I do D minor up a whole step, now that's E minor.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So that's just
and
one of
things
those.
Just start multiplying.
Yeah, that was just like blew my mind.
Yep.
Blew my mind. Okay,
Love it.
Hack number 3.
Yes.
For bar chords.
Yep.
Which could relate to the F chord.
Yep. My favorite of all chords.
Eric, I can't play the F chord. That damn F chord.
Because my hands are too small. Right.
Right.
What do you think
What
about
is that?
Is
that true?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't have Jordan hands.
Like my 11-year-old son genetically did not get my hands.
Yeah.
My daughter did, but my son's fingers are already like longer than mine. He's 11 years old.
And he's a fantastic guitar player because of that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, he doesn't play.
No.
Okay, bar chords, bar chord hack. This is another one that I got from teaching a lot and trying to get a student to play a bar chord.
Yeah.
And then I'd done it so much that now I know that it's going to work to you inside there in the magic world. Your friends,
Yeah.
your children. You said,
Especially
the kids.
this guy here, especially him.
Yeah, I want to give you a shout out, man. Also, just what a great job you've done. I've known you for a long time, and I've always enjoyed everything you do. So, kudos to this man right here. He's a good dude.
Thank you.
Great guitar teacher. Okay, bar chords. You got the bar chord, right? The higher up you go on the neck, the easier it is to play a bar chord. So if you're struggling, you might want to try, one up here, just because, it's a little easier to press down.
Right.
But my trick with bar chords is, one, don't avoid them. Just like anything, you're only going to get better if you actually face it, right? So if you have a song that's got like one bar chord, play the song, and when it gets to that bar chord and you're like, not good at it, just play through it where it sounds bad.
Yep.
Because that's the only way it's gonna. You won't realize it, but it gets a little better every time.
Sure.
The other thing is this. I'll take a B minor because that's a good starting bar chord. What I recommend is when you go to form the chord, one time do it where the bar is first. You get that down nice and tight. Then form the shape that you need. And then play the chord and see what's not ringing out or what is ringing out. Okay. The next time, form the shape first, then the bar. And just rotate, like when you're practicing a bar chord, rotate those things. Because if you do the shape, the bar, which can be intimidating to people, the amount of strength and pressure it takes, you just forget it. I'm just doing a little programming here, I'm just got that shape. Okay, what happens if I put the bar down? Okay, it's not that great. Okay, now this time, I'm gonna make sure that bar is nice and tight, then put the shape. And eventually they meet in between.
Yeah.
And now you've got the bar.
I love that
going.
too because it's going to make people aware of what they're doing as opposed to just, I can't play it.
Yeah.
That knee-jerk reaction as opposed here they're having to form that first and then put the finger on. And then two, little realizations. Everybody has to come across these at some point, but like you go, well, I'm only pressing down 2 notes there as opposed to having to press down 5 strings. These guys are taking care of 3 of them.
And if that doesn't work, you just pull out that free spray again.
Man, it sounds so real.
And then it's just right there. Yeah. It's funny, actually, if I make that sound towards my dogs, they shake like they got water on them. It's a good one.
It's that good.
It's that good. Pointless skills that I have. I can make it sound like a Windex bottle with my mouth.
It's amazing, though. It's good.
Thank you. I got another hack, and I think that's 5. No, it's not. Okay, counting is not one of those skills. Okay, no, I do have another one. I'm thinking about soloing. We all start with the minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. One way to immediately start making it sound more like a solo and less like a scale is just repeat things. Even, can you play me a blues in A? So just 3 notes of the scale, right?
And don't be afraid to keep repeating it and get good.
Now I'm just running the scale, right? Yep. Oh, I found a little... You know, don't like, because when someone's just is starting to learn how to solo, you know, a lot of times, and it's totally fair, it just sounds like they're going up and down the scale.
Right.
Right? So,
Because they're trying to say something.
Right.
Hear the words I know, hear the words I know, as opposed to...
So literally, even if it's just something simple that's coming from that going up and down, just start repeating ideas. Yeah. And then your ear starts to hear these little motifs that start to happen. Yeah. Then you would add, you know, some licks into a vocabulary, like if you had a lick like, you know, oh, okay, I have that lick. Yeah. You know, you add that, you start adding those little kind of like when you learn a word and you put it into a sentence, like build a vocabulary. Yeah. So that'd be the next step. But repeating stuff immediately makes it musical. Yes. Even it's super simple. Yeah. Super simple. I mean, there's so much you can do on just 2 strings of the scale, you know? I mean, I've been playing a long time, but it's all about
a whole half a solo in one little area.
Oh yeah, and I mean, some of the most famous, most legendary guitar players of all time did do that. Yeah, you know, or stayed in one little spot. B.B. King, you know, and Stevie Ray Vaughan spent 90% of his time on that home row position. Yeah, and it worked just fine for him.
He did okay with it.
He did all right.
He's gonna go places.
Big time. All right, I have a great hack for soloing up and down the entire neck. Okay. Pentatonic based. But basically you have the E root pentatonic, which is kind of like the main one. So I would get that. Then I would learn what's called the Pentatonic Extension or the extended scale. And that's just it's just the pentatonic. But so if I had the A minor pentatonic and I wanted to do it as the extended A minor pentatonic, I just put my ring finger on that root, A, we're playing the A minor pentatonic, and I'm only going to use my index and ring finger for this whole run, and so it would just be like this. 3, 5, 3, 5, slide up, and now I'm in my home row that I've been practicing. Right. So I've just added a whole nother place to go. If you're kind of working on that pentatonic and you're like, oh, I'm getting so bored of it, immediately you have a nice little transition spot to add. You know, it's this new thing. Very simple though. You're just using your index and ring. So 3, 5, 3, 5, slide. Nice. 5, 7, you know, just from the regular scale that we kind of already know. And then 5, 7 again on the G. And now we slide up a whole step from there. And now we have to do a weird little finger transition, but if you run it a few times, you'll get it. And it's just index finger, not middle finger, index finger on the 8th fret of the B. And now you've got this little box. 8, 10, 8, 10. And so if you run that up and down, only use your index and ring finger. And then that 10th fret high E, that slides up a whole step. So now you've played, just based off of that first scale, everyone kind of starts soloing. You're now all the way down here, all the way to up there.
Love it.
You know, and it's the most valuable parts of those other positions. Sure is, yeah. Because you kind of like are learning a little piece of the other shape, but it's the most practical piece, right? So that's based on the E root. So you'd have. And a great hack within the hackception. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm still going. Sure. Is run that thing when you're watching a sports game or you're waiting for dinner or you're not even plugged in, right? You're like in a good way because you're just like doing some muscle memory programming. Like I'll even turn my thing down and talk to you. Yeah. And just do it. Yep. You know? And I'm just programming for later.
Yeah, I have people ask me all the time, they'll say, you know, is that kind of practice beneficial? And I'll say, well, it's better than just watching TV and not doing anything. Yeah, so it's not like focusing on.
So in other words, I'm not like practicing my musicality. Right. Like watching TV or doing something else is a great time for just muscle memory programming because I'm not trying to be musical with it. I'm just trying to like do so many reps that eventually it's just there. Yeah. And then I can be, at other times, practice my music, practice playing over a jam track or whatever. But real quick, I said up and down the entire neck. All you got to do is repeat what we just did here, but based on the A root for the same pentatonic. Everything's the same. So you'd have the A position of the A minor pentatonic. Little bit more awkward than the main one. But that one's got a beautiful extension that you only use your pointer and ring finger for that too. You got the root right there. And this is beautiful little spot because you have on the 10th and 12th fret, you have that on the E, A, and D string. You just got to know where the root is, but you literally have that. And it's a beautiful, we love those symmetrical boxes soloing, you know? And all you do is you just slide that up like we did here to the 14th fret. Yep. And then you go 12, 14 on the G. And then exact same thing, like I said, you're only using your index and ring finger. So for this extended, we'll put index on 13 of the B and then 15. And then slide that up a whole step. Yep. And then finally 15 to 17 on the high E. And now we just ended on the A root. Nice. So that means that you actually have the octave up there of the main home row. So basically, I mean, this is a short and condensed, lesson on this. This would be something I would teach in a bunch of lessons to get you going. But just knowing that, okay, I know the E root minor pentatonic shape and the A root minor pentatonic shape, and then their extensions. And by doing that, we've gone up and down the entire neck. So if I put those together. And then just right back at the beginning. So that's, and then what I found is whether you're talking about modes, jazz scales, major pentatonic, arpeggios, like all those different things, they're all beautifully laid out if you use that as like your skeleton. A template. I say your freeway or like your blank piece of paper. And then your, I don't know, I like the freeway one because this is like, I'm driving on the freeway, but then, I'm going to stop here for a little visit.
100%. Yeah. Love it.
So I found that even though I spent a lot of time thinking if I know all the modes and I know all the jazz scales, I know all the arpeggios, all of a sudden I'll be great. And that was a bitter pill because I wasn't all of a sudden great. I just knew a bunch of scales. And it sounded like it.
I ran into the same thing.
Yeah, it sounds like scales.
Yeah.
And as I've been playing now, well over 20 years, probably closer to 30 years now, it's like, oh man, it's all the pentatonic is no matter what.
It's everywhere.
Like the pentatonic is the underlying
thing.
The pentatonic's underneath all the modes and it's underneath the arpeggios. The pentatonic's always there.
Yes.
So the more you focus on that, then you can escape it. You can add things all around it, but that underlying skeleton, that extension up and down the whole neck, there's half steps and things to add to those and colors that you can add, but that's like the core, the underlying core for like
that everything's based off of.
Contemporary rock, blues,
country,
metal, everything. It's all there. It's all there. That's my fifth hack.
I love it.
Thanks, man. I hope it helps you guys. And obviously, this is just one video. There's a lot more to explore and explain. But that's like my starting point.
I love it. Marty, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this stuff with me.
Dude, thank you,
You're the king at what you do.
Oh, jeez.
And so appreciative of your love for students and teaching as well. And friends, you obviously know who Marty is, but my gosh, if you don't, and click on the link in the description of this video to Marty Music, where you're going to learn a ton of stuff.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So Marty Music's about 3.5 years old.
Yeah.
So, I'm still feeling fresh.
Yeah. Well, I love it and love what you do.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you again.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching. Big shout out to Eric here. Fantastic guy.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, man.